Hey guys, anyone here? Hello. Hey guys, welcome to the EMA session. For you guys to actually start asking questions, I believe you can click on the there's this Q&A tab on the left side of the bar, or you can do it through the chat. So fire away, I guess. Hi, Martin. Do you have any questions? I can see your. There we go. This. So I guess you know how it works, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions about the whole project, the whole program, like who are your teammates, where do you find your project tasks. So I'm just gonna kick it off with like some FAQs that I've been getting from the rest of your cohort. So the common questions would be something like the business introduction meeting, for example. So a couple of you have came to me asking what's the business introduction meeting, whether you're supposed to be the one scheduling it or where's your mentor. So by now, most of you should have your mentor join you on the Slack channel. If he or she is on it, we will actually put like a introduction Slack message from the Project Robot account. So when it comes to the business introduction meeting, which is supposed to happen next week, we would suggest for the team leader to organize with the rest of the team to come up with a couple of options of everyone's availability, present it to the mentor for him or her to choose from, and we go off from there. So we will recommend for you to kick the business introduction meeting off as early as possible. And we even have a team that have already had their business introduction meeting this week. So yes. The other FAQ would be, so how do you find out more information? Sorry, so that's one. Is there any way to connect? So we have a question from Martin. Question is there any way to connect with team mentor other than Slack and email? It seems not very effective. So the reason why we created Slack was because we wanted to have like one channel of communication across all teams. So we understand that not everyone, most of you should be new to Slack, but it's actually a very useful tool, especially for a remote working team. So Slack actually enables you to connect remotely, share files, and use really cool integrations with it. Like, for example, you can just type /Skype to actually start a call within the channel. So in terms of other ways, you can actually set up a Skype chat with your mentor or use email. So we recommend that you use Slack also because when you type your messages on Slack, QLC can actually oversee the whole conversation. The good thing about that is that we actually we will know which stage of the project you guys are at and provide update your resource library accordingly to better support your tasks. So Martin, I hope I've answered your question with that. I'm gonna move on to the next question. So the other thing about, as I was saying previously, so one of the other common FAQ was that people were asking me, where do you find out more information about your startup? So you can go to their website. You can just Google the name. Most of them should be pretty straightforward and should be able to find within the first Google search page. The other thing would be to ask the mentor for their website. So like I said, most of your mentors should have joined you on Slack, and you guys should be saying hi, making some self-introduction about yourself, and also start asking them for more information. Could be like them sharing their existing strategy for each of your project, sharing resources from their side to get you onboarded this week. Great. So I can see quite a number of you on this AMA session. So if you want to ask a question, simply go to the left-hand side of your screen. There should be a Q&A tab on it. No questions so far? All right, I'm just gonna keep going on about the project. So I'm not sure if you guys have actually watched the introduction video we've prepared for you. It's the project starter pack, and for the project leaders, the team leaders, we have prepared a project champion video for you. So it should be on your dashboard when you first log on after accepting the offer. If you've missed that, you can go onto our YouTube channel. So it's teamqlc.io on YouTube, and you should be able to find the latest video that we're posting, so you won't miss out on anything. So the video itself will walk you through real quick. It's about like 5 minutes video. It should walk you through like the expectation of you as a team member and of you as a team leader, and also how you can work through this project the best way possible, and also how QLC and the mentor will be supporting you throughout the whole journey. So if you have any questions at any point of time during the project, you can actually reach out to the QLC support team via the dashboard. So we are the little green box little green circle on the bottom right of your screen when you log on to the project dashboard. So yeah, I'm still waiting for more questions. If you guys find it hard to type out questions on this Google Hangout, you can actually type it out on Slack if you want to, so via announcement, or you can actually type it out. You can actually tweet us on our Twitter it's at @WhatQLC. So we have a new question from Anastasia. So the question is, I know we have a number of milestones to work towards, but what does the overall timeline look like for this project? So Anastasia, good question. So the whole project, the timeline is about 6 weeks. That's excluding the first week of orientation, which you guys are currently in. So your project officially kicks off next Monday on the 4th of July and runs for 6 weeks. In terms of setting deadlines for each milestones, we actually leave it up to the team and the mentor to set the deadlines, because each team, each project have their own different unique working style, and we trust that the candidates, including the team leaders, should be able to manage their own deadline. So what I'll suggest, for example, is if it's a 3 milestones project, usually we'll start off with like research and then do some strategy planning before execution. So a good estimation would be to actually sort of like speed up your time. So the research milestone should take about a week. Strategy takes about 2 weeks, and execution takes about 3 to 4 weeks, which is pretty much the rest of your project. So because you're working with a real business or startup, things tends to move fast. We do not want you to spend like half the project doing research, coming up with essays and reports, business reports, stuff like that. We want you guys to actually just take like a week or so to onboard yourself, understand the business, do some basic research, and straight away move on to the practical work part, which is strategizing and execution. So this whole program for USIT Business School should end in about 6 weeks, which is 12th of August. It's a Friday. So 12th of August, we have already scheduled that to be the final closing call. And again, you have to schedule the exact details of the final closing call when the date is nearing. Cool. I'm gonna mark this as complete. Great. Guys, keep the questions coming. I've just posted on Slack. Feel free to respond to that through Slack for any questions that you may have. So I'm gonna move on to other FAQs that you guys have been shooting me through direct messages. So one of the other common question would be, which party is responsible for driving the whole project forward? So just to clear up any misunderstanding, the project tasks are actually set on your dashboard, project dashboard. You should be able to see what's expected out of this project, and also the milestone structure of this project. So in terms of getting exactly what needs to be done at the end of this project, you should refer to your dashboard. Your mentor is only there to provide resources about their startups, and also to provide guidance on how you can execute those tasks. So most of your mentors, they are also new to this program. So they came into this program with the expectation of just answering questions and also sharing a bit about their startup. So they wouldn't know exactly what the scopes are until they visited their dashboard like you did. So we have someone typing a question. There we go. So we have a question on Slack by Ding Ying. The question is, we can get the requirements from my mentor and the resources provided. So Ding, I think I've just answered the question. So in terms of the project tasks and what's actually required of you is you have to read your dashboard. The project scopes and project deliverables are all under your project dashboard overview tab. And in terms of the resources provided, so we've provided a standard template of a standard list of resources on also via dashboard under the resources tab. But if you feel like it's not really relevant to your project and you need more help, you need more reading materials, video materials, or tools, you can actually just drop us a message through the little green box on the bottom right of the screen. No worries. So, Ding, have I answered your question? Great. Let's move on to the next question. Guys, reminder for those who just joined, you can ask a question through the left-hand side of your screen. There's a small little tab called Q&A. Click on that and fire away. There we go. So we have two questions. I'm gonna answer the one from Chloe first. So Chloe asked, can you give us more information about what content marketing is? How can we structure it overall? So in terms of information about what content marketing is, it should be on your resources library. Again, click through resources on your project dashboard. You should have like a whole list of reading materials on each of the milestones. In terms of how we can structure it overall, you should be able to, we have provided a skeleton structure through the milestones of the project. So for content marketing, there should be 4 milestones to it. Starts off with research, and then strategy and strategy development before moving on to execution. If you would like more specific information about what content marketing is, drop me a message after this call. More than happy to update the list of reading materials for you. So I'm gonna move on to the next question by Martin. So Martin's question about the kickoff call. Is it only for the mentor and leader, but not open for the whole team? So for the business introduction kickoff call, it's actually for the whole team, Martin. So it's up to the team leader and mentor to schedule a time that best fits the rest of the team. We understand that there are teams with 5 people, and it can be quite hard trying to squeeze in a time that fits everyone's schedule. So with that in mind, try to schedule a timing where the majority of the team can actually make it, and task one of you to take down notes for the meetings and share with the group after that's done. So the only person that must be on the call is the team leader, partly because we have briefed the team leader separately through the project management project champion video about their specific tasks to carry out during the call, which is to drive the conversation. So your mentor will go into this, will go into the kickoff call with not much expectation other than to answer any of your questions answer any questions that you guys may have about the startup, and also to share with you guys resources, existing strategies, what they have done, what they're doing, and how you guys can help out. So remember, the kickoff call is for everyone, not just the mentor and team leader. Moving on to the next question, that's by Larissa Liu. So Larissa Liu asks, does QLC run projects all year round? And if so, can we do another one? So QLC partners with universities to do programs during semester and also during the holidays period, which is the current one is the winter holiday batch. So in terms of whether QLC run projects all year round, I would say yes, but we are currently running on a fixed date fixed date start dates. So we have projects running starting in June, starting in September, starting in March, and also there's one that we are trying to plan for summer, which is due to start in January. So projects run all year round with gaps in the middle. Usually we start our application window 2 months before the start date. So for this batch, the one that you guys are currently in, we actually started application window back in May. So the one of the perks of QLC is that we actually recognize our alumni. So as you go through more programs with us, and we start to gather results about each of your project performance, we are trying to incentivize each of you to come back as an alumni. So you could be starting off as a candidate, moving on to a project champion, which is the team leader, and also being part of the QLC ambassador group on campus, where you get to manage on-site events, go on tour with us throughout Australia to talk about your experience. And also the last part, I would say one of the highest achievement one of our candidates actually had was to take over my role as a project coordinator for their university. So moving on to the next question, we have it's from Anastasia. So question is, who is our project champion? How do they report on our progress through the dashboard? I can see there are a number of steps, but could you please outline the process in more detail? So Anastasia, off the top of my mind, I can't remember who is your project leader because there's about 40 teams. So you should be able to find out who your project champion is. So project champion is the same as project team leader. You should be able to find out who your project champion is on your dashboard. If you look at overview on the right hand side of the screen, there is a section of about your team. The project champion will have a star next to their name. So in terms of how do they report your team's progress, on the dashboard, all of you should be able to see this tab called the progress update. So we've tasked the team leaders to provide QLC with an update every week by Sunday. So all they have to do is jump onto their dashboard, click on progress update, and they can fill out the questions accordingly. The last part was, I can see there are a number of steps, but could you please outline the process in more detail? I hope I've outlined it in a rather detailed manner with the questions that you just asked. So if you're worried about us not knowing your progress update yourself as a candidate, you are also able to submit a progress report. So remember to, guys, remember to remind your team leader to submit the progress update every Sunday. If he or she is not free, you can take over that role to provide the update. So it doesn't matter who on the team provides the progress update, but we just need someone on the team to do it. The benefit of that is that QLC can track your progress, and we are able to support you with the necessary tools and necessary resources at each stage where you guys are working at. So as part of the progress update, there's also a field where you guys can put in other feedback. So you could be notifying us the barriers that you guys are facing for that week. Maybe you're unable to move past a certain milestone. One of our KLC support team member will actually reach out to you to clarify and to support you to move the project forward. So we have a new question on Slack from Natalie. So Natalie asks, just a confirmation, doesn't matter how and when we go about completing each part of the milestone, as long as by the end of the project, everything is done. Yes, Natalie, that is true. So there are no hard deadlines on the milestones. We leave it up to the team leader and the mentor to set up each deadlines. But definitely don't treat this as a uni assignment. In startup, things tend to move fast. So what your mentor might need for the next couple of weeks will change over time if nothing is completed. And who knows, like by the time you're done with your task 2 weeks late, and it's become irrelevant stuff for the mentor. So yes, we have no hard deadlines. We leave it up to the team leaders and the mentors to set the deadlines for each milestones and tasks. We have another question. So Martin asked a question for Daisy. Daisy's question is, I'm a little confused right now because some of my teammates and our mentor just remain silent, unable to contact via Slack. What should I do, or is there other good ways to keep everyone connected? So Daisy, in terms of comm silence, we actually have a 24 hours policy, response policy. So if any of you are facing difficulties contacting your teammates or contacting your mentors, do drop us a message through the little green box on the bottom right of your dashboard. One of our team members will help you guys sort out the issue. But we suggest for you to, you can drop them an email directly to check in on them. So how do you obtain each other's email? Your email is available on Slack. All you have to do is click on their name. So in this case, Daisy, for you, it will be @DaisyCX66. You click on it, and there's a View Profile tab. And you click on the View Profile, there you should be able to find the person's email. So in terms of setting up comms for each of your team, like I said at the start, it's good to use Slack because Slack is a centralized platform for everyone. QLC are able to track your team's progress through Slack. But if you find that it might be easier for you guys to create a WhatsApp group or Facebook group when it comes to organizing a meeting, or when it comes to like, how do you say, like planning for the meeting, go ahead with it. Exchange your Facebook accounts, exchange your contact number to create those necessary platforms, to set up those necessary platforms. So we have another question from Larissa. So Larissa's question was, what would you say is the biggest benefit in participating in these types of projects? So there are multiple benefits, and I would say the biggest from my point of view is that you actually get to work with a startup, work with a mentor from a startup to do practical work instead of just studying theoretical essays that's available through textbook and through whatever you can find on Google search. So working with a startup requires quite a bit of, I would say, hustling and also initiative. You really have to grab your project by its horn, I would say, and just power through the whole project, go above and beyond with the tasks. If you are tasked to create a content marketing piece, spend the time to do it. Don't gather as much feedback as possible from the mentor and from QLC. We are here to help you guys. Build your career and also to pick up a new skill. In terms of other benefits, we are trying to create a network of students, of like-minded individuals. We are planning to host a couple of on-site events. With the most, I would say, the upcoming one would be the end of project event, where we will invite everyone down to mingle, to share a bit about each of you have done for the project. There will also be a showcase of the best team. So the best team will get to present what they have done for the project, and they will be featured on QLC's platform, and will also be featured on the Use It careers page. So we have a comment from Natalie on Slack. She was saying that, so she previously asked, it doesn't matter how we go about completing each part of milestones as long as they are done by the end of the project. And she followed up with the comment about thinking, saying that might be useful to complete certain parts in advance. Yes, that's true. It's good to just suss out your whole project at the start and get whatever those small barriers over and done with, those small tasks over and done with. That's true. But I would say don't go about doing the whole project without without actually chatting about it with your mentor, because at times your mentor might have specific requirements to each part, to certain parts of the project. Again, bring back content marketing. They might have a certain topic, a certain campaign in mind that they would like you to help develop. So yes, you can complete certain parts in advance, but just make sure that you and the mentor are on the same page. We have a new question by Ding Ying on Slack. So her question is, will we have any certification after this project? Yes, there will be certificates given out, certification of completion given out to students who meet the requirements. So what are the requirements? A, you have to showcase that you have completed tasks, you have contributed to your team's effort, and B, being active for the most part of the project. So you can't be active in week 1, go missing for 4 weeks, come back in week 6, and say that you have completed the project. So we will have a peer review assessment at the end of the project to make sure that we give out certificates to only those who actually actively took part in the project. So there will be 2 types of certification. One is a completion certification, which is through it's an e-certificate that you can print out with a unique stamp by QLC. The other one is the QLC LinkedIn certification button, which you can add to your LinkedIn profile. Great, taking let's see. Yes, yes. So I've completed that question. So guys, any more questions? Keep it coming. So one more thing about the Slack channel. After this whole AMA session, can you guys try to can you guys keep your conversation within your group? And also, if you want to reach out to other members of the cohort, you can actually chat with them through this channel called Water Cooler. So I'm going to share the link on announcement. So the announcement channel is actually just for QLC to make any general announcement that we may have that we want you guys to know about. For example, this live AMA session. Otherwise, keep the chit chats to the Water Cooler channel. So we have another question from Larissa. Larissa's question, here we go. On the sales optimization cost part of our project, there are mainly readings. Will we have tasks with actual instructions? So Larissa, your tasks are, so there are 2 ways to find out more about your tasks. One is through the project dashboard, which is project dashboard, the overview tab. You'll get to see your project scope and your milestones to achieve. The other way to find out more about your task is through the resource page, the one that you are actually at with all the main readings. Under each milestone, there should be a tab called the milestone overview, if I'm not wrong. If you click on it, it will share with you the agenda of the milestone, some guiding questions that you should be answering to help you through the milestone, and also specific tasks for each milestone. So I hope I've answered your question with that. And there we go. All right, cool. Guys, do you have any last questions? No, all good. So I'm gonna close off this AMA session in about 2 minutes if there are no new questions coming on. For if you guys for those who missed out on this, this is a recorded version, and you can ask me questions on via the Slack channel, or sorry, you can ask me questions through the little green box on your bottom right of the screen. If you have any questions that were unanswered in this recorded video. Great. We have a couple of people typing on Slack, so we're just gonna wait for that. Whether if they're gonna type out new question. Nope. Right. So I'm gonna close off this video right now. I wish you guys all the best with your project, and really just we are always here to support you through your dashboard. If you need help with anything, just shoot us a question. We will mostly respond during working hours. So just a heads up, our team is based in Singapore, which means we are 2 hours behind Sydney. So if you're gonna like ask a question really late into the night, we might not be available, but we will go through all our messages at the start of each day. Great, it was great chatting with all of you, and yeah, have a good one.